If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. Okay, so Russ is about to drop a new album or a new EP. We don't know what this is exactly yet, but today I wanted to talk about the announcement of CHOMP 2 and what this means for his career going further, because he also announced, a little change in his approach to releasing music now. So let's look into this. So we first got to know about this when he directly announced this thing with the cover art on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, everywhere. He said CHOMP 2 December, and then a bunch of, devil emojis. So we're getting this thing in December. December is about to come up. The next Friday is still a November, so the 26th is still November, but then after that, we go directly into December, starting with the 3rd, on which already a lot of stuff is dropping. Polo G is dropping. There's rumors of, Juice WRLD dropping, so December is looking pretty packed so far. Then we have the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st, although I would not expect him to drop on the 24th or 31st because that is, Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, so it's like probably not going to drop music on a holiday when people are not likely to listen to new music. So we have the 3rd, the 10th, and the 17th, which is probably going to drop on one of those dates. But as I already said, he also released the cover art. It's, it's him on this red background. It says CHOMP 2 in the title. It's his face in like a drawn cartoonish version. And then out of his face, this like spirit cartoon, also drawn image of a wolf is coming out, which already we saw in the first one. There was like a very evil picture of like a wolf's jaw or whatever that was. So I'm guessing this is in the same lane. Now, y'all have heard my review when the first CHOMP dropped a year ago. I think this dropped in November though last year, not in December, but still. I like that this is a series that's, going on and he wants to keep doing. But that EP was so amazing to me. Before that, Russ was always this like, DIY artist that showed all the labels that you could do it yourself, make millions on your own. You don't need a record deal. He's been on the come up for the longest time, just doing shit himself, all of it, producing, writing, and all that shit that he always, credits himself for. Some people say he's too cocky about it. I actually respect it quite a lot. And y'all also know that first CHOMP tape turned me into a fan, because before that, I also had the kind of misconception about him of just being another corny type rapper that's like, you can do whatever you want, just, believe in your dreams. But after I heard CHOMP, that it all changed, because CHOMP to me was such an amazing project. It definitely solidified Russ for me as an MC, as a rapper that can actually spit, because none of the songs did really well on there, but they were all there's such great songs with amazing features. Absol, Benny the Butcher is on there, so it's like, all these great hip-hop artists just coming in and spitting some raps. And I feel like for Russ to be on a lyrical and on like a, technical level as them, and to really push himself with that tape is something I really love to see. And that's why that CHOMP tape is still amazing too, for me. To this day, I always go back to it and listen to it because, as I said, it's just boss talk on there. Let me say it like that. But then also, he went on to say a couple of more things. For example, on Twitter, he said, gearing up to drop the hardest rap album of the year, CHOMP 2, together with some pictures of him and his dog. But this to me, again, kind of hints at this being like a raw hip-hop album again, with him, rapping over. I mean, he had a Primo beat on the last one. He's working together with a lot of talented artists that's also coming from the camps of the likes of Griselda, for example. So I really would love to see him go even more raw hip-hop, core hip-hop type shit on this one, because honestly, I felt like he was really in his zone in that, in that first CHOMP tape. Of course, in the meantime, he's dropped some singles again. He went back to releasing a new song every week, his Russ strategy, as people call it nowadays in the industry, which has worked for him amazingly back in, 2014 to 2017. But I felt like when that streak started again, I think it was in May of this year, the songs were just more like, surface level, maybe a bit more commercially incentivized and stuff like that, because those were like some, very basic song structure, him singing a lot more. But I want to see this. That's cool and all. I mean, nothing against that. I certainly do love a lot of those tracks, but I want to, I want to get that CHOMP Russ back that we got in the first tape. I hope he can live up to my expectations, but he's saying that it's one of the hardest rap albums of this year, so I'm guessing he's in his rapping mode. Now, also, he said in another post that he posted on social media, CHOMP 2 is the first of many tapes, mixtape run loading. So apparently we're now going from a single run to a mixtape run, which I really love to see because Russ obviously isn't in a position anymore where he needs to blow up. Some of the singles he dropped during his single run this summer did really well, so it's like, he has that platform to have a song go viral now, and I like that he's now focusing on mixtapes. Of course, this could mean that a CHOMP 3, a CHOMP 4 is coming, but I think there'll be many different more mixtapes coming out from Russ in the future, and I really love that. I said that, for example, also about Logic, when he dropped that Doc D mixtape, that I feel like artists can just make these mixtapes where they just have fun and just give something to the fans, where they can just express whatever they want artistically in any way they want, because it gives you such freedom, and that's always something Russ has been about. So I'm looking forward to that quite a lot, and I feel like Russ is also someone who could kind of go the same lane as, for example, Tory Lanez, where he could drop like a core hip-hop, just hardcore hip-hop mixtape, for example CHOMP in this case, but then also like an R&B one, more of a singing one, more of an indie one. He can do all types of stuff with that. We see Tory now dropping an 80s album, and I feel like Russ could be in the same lane as Tory. I do see a lot of parallels between the two in terms of artistic style artistic diversity, I should say, and then also the way that they're doing their stuff independently. So I'm looking forward to CHOMP 2 coming out by Russ. We got the confirmation, we got it confirmed that it's coming out in December. We also got the cover art, which I think looks amazing. It suggests it'll be more of a serious project, and he said that it's going to be one of the hardest rap albums this year, so that means that we're getting that CHOMP Russ back, and I really love that. CHOMP made me a Russ fan. That was really the moment I was like, yo, this man is actually not like that corny white dude that people always say, but actually someone who has perfected his craft over the years by just trial and error and just failing and trying. I mean, that's kind of the same thing, but this man I respect a lot for his come up in the game, and for someone who didn't have any connections prior to coming up. So all my respect to Russ, and we're getting into some tape, some old school Russ, hard-hitting rap type stuff. So yeah, that's my opinion on this. Now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for CHOMP 2 by Russ? What do you think of the first CHOMP? What do you think about the release date being in December? What do you think about him saying it's one of the hardest rap albums of this year? And what do you expect when he says that he has a mixtape run coming out and it's just one of the early ones and there are more to come? So all of that, let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.